A little while ago, we looked into maid cafes. Tonight, we're going to have a look at what's basically the opposite of that, which is your host clubs. Host clubs and maid cafes have one similarity, and that's people are paying for the illusion of intimacy. Whether it's the master dynamic of maid cafes or the pseudo love that is the host clubs. Hi, I'm Faye, and this is how I plan for Japan. Weird edition. Today's day 106. Our fundage has not increased. It's the school holidays. We're off work. It's not going to increase anytime soon. So Japan has a huge host enterprise, with some hosts being incentivized for tens of thousands of dollars a month to bring in the most money for their clubs. And they can bring in that level of money very quickly and very easily. Because for a lot of host clubs, it's very expensive. It starts off slightly cheap, but you will rack up a lot of debt to the point where it has become an issue. There are articles put out by Japan Times and, well, more than likely a lot of other establishments, but these articles have been talking about how host clubs have been putting women into debt, and not just a little bit of debt, but like student loans kind of debt, and that's kind of fucked. But at the same time, same thing's happening to guys with female streamers. So, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about these guys. These guys are pseudo celebrities in their own area that expire at 25. You're very unlikely to find a host that's over the age of 25. Some cap out at 28, but even then you're getting into specialized territory. The way a host club works is you come in the door and you are greeted by essentially a maitre d'. And that's pretty stock standard. That's going to happen at most places you go. The difference is this guy's going to come up with an iPad and let you search through the photos of the hosts that work at this club until you find the look of somebody you like, and then the look of somebody else, and the look of somebody else, and you pick a few, essentially. Or, in some other places, they'll just get everyone that's not currently attending to somebody to come and almost speed date with you. You'll spend a couple of minutes with each of them, you'll find out which one you like, and that's your guy. If you are at this club, that is the only guy you are allowed to be hosted by. And it's a weird thing when you think about it, because you're essentially saying, I want to only spend time with this guy. I'm going to pay a lot of money to do it. Your standard situation is going to cost about... You're going to be looking at about 80 Australian dollars at the moment for an hour, the first hour, plus a table hire of about 20 bucks, plus the host fee of about another 30. So you're looking at about 130 bucks for that first hour. And they will, in a lot of establishments, those fees will increase the longer you're there. And the issue is that you don't get made pay every hour. You don't get pay. You also have to pay for the grog, because you will have to pay for every drink that you have. And that you think club prices are bad in Australia, they're going to be so much worse when you're at a host club. The issue with all of this is that they have had to institute laws in Japan about host clubs' hours, because host clubs used to start at 11, 12 o'clock at night and then go on to the wee hours of the morning, sometimes as late as midday. And if you've spent 6 hours with a host and you haven't been tracking how much you've been drinking, and you've been drinking, so your thoughts are already going to be lowered, you're going to end up with a mountain of debt. And a lot of women were repaying that debt in a way that Japan was not okay with. So they've instituted new laws. So in most places, you have a lockout period of usually about 2 in the morning. After which point the place will shut down, which is also great for the hosts because before you would have hosts working 12-hour days and being run off their feet. Now, most host clubs are open from 4 till 1. That's still a decent shift. That's 9 hours, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. It also means you're having a lot less fuckery with your circadian rhythms. And yeah, that's an improvement. People are still putting themselves into mountains of debt. People are still ending up in situations where they cannot pay off their debt and have to basically get a loan because a lot of these establishments have ended up having uh, ways where you can quickly come into loans attached to them. And those are also sketchy. They will also, if they think you are a right fit and you're in that situation, put you over to the other establishments owned by the same company, which are hostess bars. And then you are stuck working there until you can either pay off what you owe, which is doubtful because they will charge interest and it will keep on increasing, especially considering you're still in love with that host. So you're probably still going and spending time with them. But hey, that's the evil side of host clubs. They are making you pay for intimacy. Because there is a loneliness epidemic in Japan. Hostess clubs are an all-time high. Maid cafes are an all-time high. I think the male equivalent of that is butler cafes, I think, are at an all-time high. And it's not just foreigners, because a lot of these establishments with the hosts and hostess clubs will not allow you if you are not at least conversational in Japanese. And let's be real, most tourists, they don't bother learning any of it. So they're not going to be contributing to this. This is just Japan pulling Japan down and increasing its 1%. But what would I know? I'm just an Aussie. That's going to do it for tonight, though. I'm getting off my soapbox. I've been Faye, you've been awesome, and I'll see you all tomorrow.